Building people to build business. Zig Ziglar once said that you don't build businesses, but you build people who will then build businesses. This is very, very accurate. Without a good team, no amount of strategy or technology will really help you build businesses. There are four key steps in building people. First is you have to empower a team, then you have to mentor them, then you have to create a learning organization where people learn from each other, then you have to teach them innovation. This is very easily said than done. It takes years and years of sustained leadership to make this into a habit. Very often, in most organizations, leaderships change once in 3 to 4 years, and the leadership style followed by one person is totally different from the other person's. This is where multinational are far ahead of most Indian organizations, where they have a way of running these businesses. So not only is it important that leaders follow these processes, but organizations also takes a very important view of building a team and what is the process in building a team. I will take about 4 sessions. The first session will start with learning organization, and then we will go on to the other steps and then explain how all of them are interrelated to building a great team and hence a great business process, which has to be diligently followed. One of the most important aspects of building a good organization is to first build a learning organization. Learning organization is key because people have to learn from each other, and there are many ways of doing it. One of the key aspects you have to start with is learning has to take place, knowledge has to flow throughout the organization. Along, if you imagine the organization to be a bicycle wheel, it has to flow along the circumferences and not from the central hub to each point. You should not control the flow of knowledge. And this is the first starting step. After you have done that, you have to also ensure that people learn from each other, and it is easier to learn from each other than to learn from your bosses. Learning from each other, if you say that, if you learn from your mistakes is wise, then learning from each other is wiser. You should encourage people to do this very, very carefully. After that, after you have done that, you should also create forums where people are able to learn. One of the forums you can create is learning workshops, where you can set up workshops once in a quarter or once in a half year, where people come and talk about what they have practiced, where they have failed, and where they have succeeded. Then each team member can think about how he can apply it in his day-to-day jobs. The other area is have benchmarking exercises, where you benchmark the best practices in within the industry or across the industries, and people should present what they have learned from each other. These need not done in a workshop. It can either be in a form of a webinar or email circulated across or during your monthly conferences. But this is a constant process which ensures that people constantly keep upgrading each other. And there are many industry forums where you can learn from industry practices. There are innovation labs and innovation clubs where you can learn from across the industries. It is important to encourage these habits, as these form a very key role in shaping the organization. And one key aspect is that people should be encouraged to take risks, and failure should not be frowned upon. The more people take risk within a controlled atmosphere, the more people learn. And even about if about 20 to 30% of these experiments are successful, you will have enormous benefits from these successes and great learnings from these failures. And in most organizations, people are encouraged to actually compete against each other. We should not do that. People should constantly strive to improve oneself against a standard set and work together. This is done by encouraging more and more team awards and team successes. And leaders more and more have to be as mentors and teachers, so that in every situation where you find a great lesson to be learned, the leaders should take time and effort to teach it to the rest of the people in whichever forum they are in. And of course, institutionalizing the best practices is also very key. It is many organizations sets up databases and storages where people can learn. But unless the learning habits are institutionalized and people are rewarded on a yearly or quarterly basis through their annual appraisal or other means, this does not becomes a part of the organization. And any beginning towards building a great organization is learning. The other aspects which I will cover in the rest of the sessions, which I will do, is building people involves first is create a learning organization, then how the organization innovates, how do you empower people, and how do you mentor people. Believe me, if you follow these five key steps, it becomes a key way to make organizations succeed.